battle is already
So,
underway. We have St. David's
let me
versus
pause this for a second, and let me just tell you, this is the semi-finals between St. David's and Canyon Valley Esports. Enjoy.
esports. Of course, this is the post 16, and we have a theme of Wales 2050 building a sustainable future.
These are also the
So, a
judges,
lot
just to
of
let you know.
communities
Oh no, the
different
commentators.
interpretations for that to happen,
I'll
but we're
be in
going to
the
jump
next video,
straight
don't
in game
worry.
because both
I'll be on
teams
green
are
team
working
for
quick.
this.
All right. So, I've been hyping the post 16 matches up, and you can see they've already both risen the base plate. I'm telling you, these teams, all four in the semi-finals, have optimized the scoring rubric to a. They will do things that very clearly will try and earn them some points. Okay, and they will make it as clear as day. But what separates them from the rest of the group that they've been competing against is how they incorporate some creativity in that final result. So, judging off of the line of anvils from earlier, I can tell that probably Cunning Valley Esports is probably going for a train track, right?
Yeah,
Clear as day.
some kind of train track. It was actually a tram track.
Last time, true.
Today. Yeah, so having a modernized version of that, or potentially even just a futuristic tram, potentially coming through here. But like you said, we are not even 2 minutes in already. These teams are absolutely flying with everything they've got right now, and it is an interesting difference in the two builds. Yeah, now you see a raised base plate on the other side for St. David's College there, but it actually seems like there's a bit of an internal build going on there. So it might not just be a raised base, but it might actually be a bit more going on the inside.
So, Judas, you are in for a treat. These teams go the extra mile.
Oh yeah,
They don't stop at just making a visually pleasing and appealing build. They go extra mile and develop a narrative. Now, normally it takes 30 minutes to do so, okay? But I've been judging some of these teams' build battles in the group stages where they are giving me tours through the catacombs of a castle that they've built. And they have characters that will interact with stuff. I've also been down the big pit in Minecraft where they've coded an NPC to give you iron ingots when you give him coal. That is the level of play you're looking at in the post 16 game. And you can see just the speed already. This season gamers, right? This is what the other teams in the different age brackets will be looking to develop as they get older. But we are just shy of 3 minutes in. We have an entire building frame already done. Both base plates set up. We have the train already with the headlights on, lighting sorted, a building outside, and a creek with flowing water.
Wow, yeah, absolutely flying these teams. I can't wait to get a real chance to get to talk to them a bit more. Looks like there's some sort of cave system going on there, maybe some kind of modernized mine, right? Again, it's a very common staple of the Welsh infrastructure, of Welsh heritage. So it wouldn't surprise me to see some of that coming through in a modern way, even if it's just a disused mine, right? Like a mine that's not being used anymore because we have all of this modernization. You can already see the wind turbine up there on the side of kind of Valley Esports. And again, that's something we very commonly see in most parts of Wales, where you look
How
out
long
over
is
the
this
landscape, you can see
recording?
these wind turbines as well. So I like to see it, and like just the speed of the build. It's great to get to watch it in person like this. You can literally look over, see what they're doing, and see how it translates in game as well. Really, really cool to see.
Yes, they are locked in. Both teams are trying their best. The macros, right? How fast they can place blocks with these controllers, the trigger fingers, right? Night and day difference. You can see how fast when they are laying the track work down, that came up in literally less than a minute.
Yeah.
Right? So the build is looking great so far. The theme of Wales 25, a sustainable future, very much so leans into the green energy element, is what I think, right?
Yes.
Now, you could go down the route of nuclear power.
Yep.
That's definitely an option. You can definitely go down the route of water-based, right? Water wheels, etc. We've got wind farms, right? Electric sort of based things. It'll be interesting to see how both teams opt to then elevate it just that bit more. We can see that St. David's, who are the favorites for this matchup, Cunning Valley Esports coming in just slightly below them, they have opted to go for a wavy sort of textured water by placing the sources of water up on pillars and then breaking the pillar back down. That's a very
That's cool.
effective use. I quite like that. They might change it later on and make it a little bit more smooth. Who knows? But I love that we can see that so far. And I like that they've given us a little glass view to see the texture they've done underground.
Yes, yeah, like like a little tidal lagoon style thing going on there. Again, the very messy patterns of the water, but that is how it looks, and it's a sign that there is something there generating that power. So yeah, I like what you're saying. Like they're pointing
St.
out
David's
those
built the
ways of
Senev.
utilizing a texture of water. Again, it looks like they might be sort of leveling it out with some sort of build underneath.
The one that you
but
guys
but
can
they
see right
can
now
be,
is St.
forefront
David's.
to think of, again, putting that top layer as glass so that we can see through it and actually get to really see what they are putting in there, because it's already incredibly detailed.
And look at this. We look away for a second, and Cunning Valley Esports are already looking like they're going to finish this train in no time. It's not even been 5 minutes into the build battle, and they're at a point where if they chuck a side on,
They it's done, yeah, it's crazy.
that's incredible.
Done it, yeah, and they've actually even just changed the build slightly, right? Like you can see there was a wind turbine on the right hand side. They've instead moved that over to be on the left hand side. But it's because of the speed of build, they're able to make these adjustments later. You can decide, that doesn't quite work there. Let's move it to here and everything. They want to make sure that the judges can see all of the little details that they're adding, and that's just the expertise showing.
Yes, absolutely. I think we might be seeing a little bit of a contrast, at least on the side of Cunning Valley East, where they're bringing something in. They have the whole sort of cave and pit down to the bottom. They might be building a structure that's relevant to a mining facility, right?
Yeah.
We're not too sure what the purpose of that building is just yet. Then the train has to divide, then the green energy supply. We might be seeing the history and the evolution.
Oh yeah.
Esports.
Oh yeah. I mean, esports is more relevant than coal.
Exactly. The electricity and the sustainability through like a lens of history.
Yeah.
Which is a beautiful visual which is coming through. It looks like we have some overhead wires being produced as well. So we have something to contextually put the train into the situation of the build. And again, your favorite saying, Judas, we look away and already there's an entire building that's been constructed. They're very clearly, potentially using a reference here. I can't wait for us to get some insight from the casters come to share what they're doing for the build. But have a look at this just down below. They have water flowing in, and now they've also decided to decorate it with some color.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
so they're saying, or suggesting at least on the side of St. David, that we will have such a sustainable future that we'll have coral reef surrounding ocean in Wales.
That's really interesting. It's nice to almost have an idealistic view of the future, right? Look at like, what could it be, and a very imaginative way of looking at it. I think that's very cool. I like the way that again the way that players are thinking, outside the box a little bit, and I'm really excited to hear from one of the players just to see, what is this building looking to be? Because it's very old style red brick building going on here, right? And then what's the modern take of it? What is the futurization that they're looking to go with it? Because it's done very, very intentionally here, right? So yeah, I'm very excited to see what that actually is meant to represent.
Do you see that almost performative level of teamwork?
I did see that, yeah. The way they built that wall, and then no build command coming through. That was just two players in synchrony, the perfect synchronization, just getting that built together, and that was very, very cool.
Yeah, so these guys have obviously been working together a lot. And the fact that they probably did the same with the base plate, to be honest with you. I love watching the start of any post-16 team, starting a build battle, because they're always in sync. It's like I said, it's almost performative in a sense. It's to get those points of teamwork, right?
Yeah.
If you can visually see both teams working together, placing the block in an almost pattern-like way, that's an easy way to display the teamwork in use, right? But you can see that each one of these has been built floor by floor. Yeah. I hope that both teams have the opportunity to show the insides to the judges. As I mentioned, these post-16 teams will go the extra mile to make sure that there's a narrative built into the build. Okay? Yeah. Now, of course, there is point to the narrative. It's only a subcategory of one of the major points, mostly the creativity points. But the fact that they're even considering getting those little subcategories is incredible. We can can see here that we have almost like a little chimney thing. I thought that was a water reserve initially on top of a building, but it looks like it has like some form of
some
furnace
snack in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you can see down here, we already have NPCs in the mine. So they're doing some farming of the remaining coal potentially in Wales and then forms into sustainable future.
Yes, like how are they utilizing that in the modern day, right? Like yes, we still get coal from mines in certain parts of the world and everything. So how would we then utilize that? And even in the future, right? If we are still to be doing it, what would we be doing it with? Yeah, really, really cool ideas.
And we're only just coming up to the halfway mark through this. The fact that both builds are at a point where you can arguably say any other team would be happy to say this is finished, right? But both of these teams are still working at it. And don't forget, these guys are usually working with another 10 minutes in the remainder of this build battle.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're at this stage already, maybe it's the nerves settling in, maybe it's the confidence trying to be the champion or being able to access the Principality stages and compete on the stage, right? But they've definitely stepped up their level of play. The efficiency, not shown by the post-16 teams, but every single team we've seen today is fantastic, right? We love to see teams rise to the challenge when it comes calling, and we've definitely seen that displayed throughout the day.
Yeah, I really like seeing, these players have been, as I mentioned the other day, they've been waiting longer than anyone, chomping at the bit just to get this part. And now they're here. They're gonna not waste any time, right? They're flying around, doing everything as quickly as they possibly can. Like I said, we're about to approach the halfway mark. This is almost a complete build for what we've been seeing throughout the day. So the fact that they're doing this so quickly absolutely will have an impact as well on their point scoring, and it'll just mean that we'll get to see a level of detail from these teams that we haven't yet had the chance to see today. And again, it's so efficient the way they get through some of these, relatively complex patterns coming out. It already looks so textured and so well.
Yes, indeed. And we can see a little drainage system underneath there.
Oh, yeah.
A clean future is what the team of St. David's must be suggesting, right? The coral reef is alive, and this might be in Cardiff. Who knows? This might be a building based on Cardiff.
Yeah, that's the thing. They very likely, use their researchers to actually look for a specific source. And, again, when we're talking about this level, this post-16 age group now, the research can't just be, oh, this is something we could do, let's build it. It needs to be the why, the story, every little part of it. It needs to be incredibly detailed. You need to have your reference images ready and everything. And, it looks like they've done a really good job of getting that all set.
So I know that there's a big rivalry between St. David's College and Cardiff and the Vale College.
Cardiff and Vale's my college.
Number one in their group, St. David's just behind. Cannon Valley, though, have put up a fantastic build for the judges to consider against St. David's. It's just seeing how they can take it that extra mile. Because right now, St. David's are probably winning in the size and area, right?
Yes.
Just the scale of the build. I do like the organic element that they have going on for the side of Cannon Valley Esports. It'll be interesting to see if they can really elevate the aesthetic of the environment, because you can already see it being considered for St. David.
Yeah.
I think it's time for me to try and see if we get some guests, though, Judas.
Yes,
I'm going to go grab someone and see if we get some insight into the build.
Yeah, go ahead. Obviously, we're getting to these sort of final stages of these builds now, and it almost feels like it's slowing down because the bulk of the build has been done, and now they're looking at the sort of redstone elements, right? They're looking for the part where they can really add that extra detail to get those extra little bits of points. It's going to be close. You can already tell just by looking at both of these teams that it's going to be a very, very close matchup. So if we can see them get there, I don't even know if we're going to get anyone to talk to us just because everyone's so focused right now. It's not looking good, Leon.
Judas, I just went around and asked every single player if any of them want to step up and do some casting. They all looked at me with a fierce look in their eyes and said, "No, we're locked in. We're going to get the build finished.
We're getting the trophy, man."
We've got 8 minutes remaining. I want to build.
I respect it. I absolutely respect it. So again,
Ignore the pausing. I went to do stuff.
It's serious times. It is only the semi-finals, but you still have to put as much effort into this to get to that finals as well. And,
of course.
Yeah, both teams doing a really good job. I was just saying that now that the bulk of the builds are finished, it almost looks like it's slowing down because they're now looking at the details. They're looking at where they can incorporate things like redstone. And like there's even just like a fucking plant inside one of the rooms here. It's really, really down to these finer points right now. And yeah, the judges will have to be paying special attention to all.
I think I was pretty much spot on with what I think Sun and Valley are doing. It definitely looks like they're doing a sort of contrast of the past of Wales and what the 2050 future sustainable Wales looks like. Because right here, we have some redstone powered tracks leading the minecart up into a facility that then will drop off the coal that's been mined in the mine. And they have the creek, which then a little bridge goes over with the train, and then they have all the electricity and sustainable energy on this side. On the side of St. David's, however, they started looking at decorating some of the redstone, and it looks like they're using some scope sensors. So the way that this works, for those who do not know at home, it's a relatively newer block, and it only reacts based off of light. Not light, sound, sorry.
Right.
So when there's sound being made, it will then, you can see those little symbols shooting off with detecting sound. It will then send it and you'll output a redstone signal. So you can see that this one is kind of triggering itself with the flapping of the little frame. And so now you have flickering light that's been on and off.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's very, very cool.
It'll be interesting to see what St. David's are trying to suggest with that visual, right?
Yeah.
You can see that they're now bouncing between the two of them, which is now giving an animated element to the build.
Yeah.
The first part, or the first build we've seen today that's animated.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That is really, really cool. And like you say, it's about how you can incorporate the sort of redstone or, it's not even that much redstone, right? It's not that there's like a huge element of it. It's just there's that animation effect based on what you get. And it works. It will count in that sort of function as well. And yeah, this is clearly
Find something scary.
some kind of reference for. Again, I don't recognize it off the top
Ignore
of my head.
the ad.
Again, it's a staple of Wales, right, where they've got these very old style buildings that we've then modernized into the future, and I think that is what they're going for here, and it does look very, very good.
So I'm judging based off of the thing in the background, potentially a wind turbine as well.
Yeah.
Really trying to give a nod to that green energy, sustainable future 2050, right? This is almost giving me like solar punk vibe for the building itself, right? Maybe it's made of sustainable material. It looks like a kind of renovated building.
Yeah.
That has some foliage all over it. Maybe it's a bit better for the planet when it's being developed, but that's up to the players to decide, of course. I love that they've used mangrove trapdoors and slabs at the top, right? It's a subtle difference in terms of the color shift, the shade for the red hue, but it's effective at giving it this sort of popped off structured feel.
Like almost
to
like
the
a
build.
weathered top to the building.
Yeah. So that's looking great for St. David. And now if we get back over to the side of Sun and Valley esports, we can see that they're really trying to incorporate a lot of redstone features now. So we have sticky pistons, which are the closing doors for the trains. If you ever took a train in Wales, for Transport for Wales, they will have the doors that open and then a little step will come out. That's what they're making right there.
That's very cool.
And also, it looks like they've got a huge multi-smelter going on that might be in line with the redstone track that takes the minerals out.
It's the narrative you were talking about, right? Like showing the pathway of, where the coal comes from, where it goes, how it is processed these days, and then how it is, again, taken on an electric train, rather than, it's very similar to the tram build that we saw earlier on, but 5 minutes left goes to call of all these two builds. It is all about these final details, but these players don't look stressed at all about this, man. They are stone-faced, absolutely working hard.
They are locked in. You can see in the background the animated build, right, between the little lanterns. I love that there's a visual redstone element to the outside. There's also some redstone on the inside for St. David's as well. I'm wanting to see some of the redstone from Sun Valley Esports, however. We know that they're making the slide-in doors, which is great. Looks like that's working. So they've got that set right there. Now they just need to make it so that it activates. Oh, okay. They're doing a bit of a cover-up.
Wow. well coming.
Interesting.
Oh, will that make us sort of like a Bell King sound
Yeah.
when the doors open? That's really cool.
Maybe that's what they're trying to go for. They have 4 minutes to try and get this function in, which it looks like they're going to use tripwire hook. If this works, I'm going to be incredibly impressed. It works on the one side.
This is the most suspenseful moment of the day.
Oh, they've almost got it. There we go.
Oh,
well, hey.
Big crash.
It works. Oh, we've been
We're
teleported
too
away.
excited, too interested in the build.
Oh, look at that. They've added NPCs inside, driving it. That's awesome.
Fantastic. Yeah, again, these little details, which it almost feels like you wouldn't grasp all of the detail in just one or two glances. You have to really dig in and look around to see everything that's going on here. And yeah, some really cool stuff going on. From both sides, you know, it's been a really fast, incredible watch. But now that we're getting to these finer end, it just looks so good. I think the level of detail for the side, or the green side over here, just looks that much better. But then the redstone element on the side of Carnival East makes it look really cool as well. You know, there's a lot of cool ideas here. And again, the judge is going to have a really tough job yet again. We have not really praised the judges enough for the day that they've had. It's going to be a tough one, and they'll go to bed thinking, "Oh, did I make the right call?"
Yeah, right. I like that they've used a variety of block again at the top, right? The Prismarine's back, but they've got some oxidized black copper as well. Get that like tile effect.
Yeah.
That's really cool. But also, there's something that we can't really see, unfortunately, because the zone's the building area, but the inside of the build for St. David is actually something that they've had 2 builders in there the entire time.
Oh, really?
So there's a whole new level to this that we haven't even seen.
Yeah.
That's hidden within the build.
Yeah, you can see a little peeks through the windows, you know, like you can see some flowers,
some paintings,
and then they some paintings up on the walls as well. And obviously, painting, you know, not the easiest things to navigate with your build. Quite ambitious, but yeah, if you pull it off, then it's looking really, really good.
Now, obviously, there's a difference in approaches here. I feel like Cannon Valley has gone for almost like a snapshot, as you described earlier, of a moment in time or several moments in time, almost like a collage in a 3D space, right? Whereas, obviously, on the side of St. David, they've gone for one big build that represents something, and their research is going to be the key factor when they inform the judges.
Yeah. Like we said, it's when you get these fine margins, it's not just about how you do your build or how good your build looks. It also depends how you can transfer that info.
What I've learned from this is don't go for big builds because that makes you lose. I'll give you an example. Last time we did a big build, it was against St. David's, the St. David's theme, and we went for a massive build and we lost because of it. We don't want that again. At all. So what we did was we went on a large scale, but narrowed it down to something simpler. This is not my team. This is what they did. This is what Canyon Valley did. Green is what St. David's did. Let's continue.
With your interpretation of the prompt as well. Again, it wasn't a complicated prompt. Wales 2050, a sustainable future. And both sides have got really in on this. Again, come up with a complete own interpretations. So again, like there's almost this pathway through the side of Carnival Esports, where it's the life cycle of a piece of coal, you could say, at this moment in time. On the side of St. David's College, though, it's a bit different. It is more of this monument, this structure, this very modern facility, considering things like current technology with these wind turbines, with the, almost electrified lights. You've got what looks to me some kind of tidal lagoon, or like you see like the coral coming through as well. It's just all very, very cool.
Yeah, I mean, I hyped them up, right?
Oh yeah.
They're both 16. I told you that they can definitely get something going.
I think you didn't hype them up enough.
Yeah?
It has turned out really, really cool. Again, just to watch, it's been fascinating to watch from start to finish.
For sure. And it'll be very interesting to see who goes through. Unfortunately, it's only best of one.
I know. Right? It's such a shame that you have to pick one winner sometimes. I've actually found a potential flaw with the St. David's College build, Leon. What is the entrance to this building? How do you actually get in?
It's this one right here. So they've made it look like it's a bigger archway door by making sure it's spruce with spruce door.
I
So
see.
there's a little entrance for there, just hidden behind. It almost looks like a flowing dam.
Yes, yes. I see it there. Almost like a
St. David's did the
again,
door
some
wrong
kind of modern
there.
water facility.
The door's supposed
Yeah,
to be
so it is
encaved a
cool
little
way to
bit.
do.
I wonder if that's a clock face up there as well. I know that the button on it activates redstone that shoots a firework. We saw that earlier.
Yeah.
They've got fireworks here. They have the smoke sensors, which is the first use of the smoke sensors we've seen all day.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So really effective. This was the first animated build we've seen. There's only 10 seconds remaining though. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that concludes the semi-finals between St. David's and Cunning Valley Esports. Diane, both teams, is over to the judges now to make probably the hardest call of the day.
I don't know how you split this one. These are two phenomenal builds. Really, really cool. You see the judges still having a look. Yeah, well, I mean, the problem for the judges is these builds are so different, right? There is so much going on. You have to really almost take a night to digest this. You know, and think about it. Like, unfortunately for the judges, they do not have the time to do that. Yeah, I like this, like the cobwebs again, showing the old style of it,
Right?
and the progression. It's such a nice way to do it.
A different way to show off that age aesthetic.
Passage of time.
Yeah. They developed the rockery as well. So the little fountain flowing has been changed. Campfires with inside that little smokestack is a hay bale that then allows the campfires particles to travel further up. So that's looking incredible. It looks like the next teams are trying to figure out what their theme is, whilst the judges are also trying to figure out which team goes through to the grand finals. It's either going to be St. David's or Cunning Valley Esports. Both are incredibly strong builds, however. It'll be interesting to see which team makes it through.
I'll save you guys some time. The answer was Canyon Valley. Like, subscribe, and you know what? Join the Discord if you can find it.